What could possibly make one of Korea's most beloved couples light up with even more joy? Hyun gives special gifts to son Ye-jin and baby Alkong. The whole family has fun by the pool. From whispered surprises to heartwarming laughter under the summer sun. This moment has fans buzzing with curiosity. Join Red Carpet Revealed as we dive in and uncover every detail, right now. Hyun gives special gifts to son Ye-jin and baby Alkong. The whole family has fun by the pool. The midday sun poured a soft golden light over the quiet villa. White stone walls gleaming against the deep blue of the sky. On the terrace, the pool shimmered like a sheet of glass, its surface occasionally rippling from a gentle summer breeze. In the distance, cicadas sang their endless song, but here, in this small slice of paradise, time seemed to move slower, as if the world itself had stepped back to watch. On the lounge chair by the poolside sat son Ye-jin, her hair loosely tied, strands falling gracefully around her face. She held little Alkong in her arms, rocking him gently, his tiny fingers grasping at her dress. The air was warm, the kind of summer heat that wraps around you but never feels oppressive when you're near water. Yet, in this serenity, there was something else lingering, an almost unspoken anticipation. Hyun had been up since dawn, moving around the house quietly, checking on something, making a few calls, ensuring every detail was perfect. For weeks, he had been planning this moment, hiding his preparations under the guise of work schedules and early gym sessions. He had never been one for grand social media gestures. But when it came to his family, especially Ye-jin and their son, he spared no effort. He had told no one exactly what he was preparing. Even his closest friends. All Ye-jin knew was that today, he insisted she keep her calendar clear. No interviews, no calls, no plans. He had said with that soft, teasing smile that always made her curious. It wasn't until mid-morning that she began to suspect something was different. The pool deck had been transformed, elegant cream-colored parasols stood like sentinels, shading a plush lounge area. The faint scent of fresh flowers floated in the air, colors vibrant against the soft, neutral tones of the decor. Near the water, small floating platform bobbed gently, holding something wrapped in silk and ribbon. She turned to look for him, but he was already there, walking toward her with a boyish grin, hands tucked casually into the pockets of his linen trousers. "Come," he said simply, offering his hand. She hesitated only for a moment before standing, shifting Alkong to her hip. As they reached the pool's edge, Hyun knelt, retrieving the silk wrap package from the floating platform. He untied the ribbon with careful fingers, revealing what lay inside, a miniature, custom-made pool float shaped like a gentle white swan, its surface embroidered with the name Alkong in delicate gold stitching. But that was only the beginning. Beneath the float was a set of matching lounge cushions, crafted from the softest water-resistant fabric, each one designed with Ye-jin's favorite floral patterns. Ye-jin's breath caught. You had this made?" she asked, brushing her fingers over the gold embroidery. "For both of you," he said softly, glancing at Alkong, whose eyes were already fixed on the swan float as if sensing it was meant for him. "So you can enjoy the water together, and make it yours." And just a gift. It was a promise. Promise of lazy afternoons, of giggles and splashes, of moments free from the weight of schedules and the constant hum of cameras. They placed Alkong gently into the float, his tiny legs kicking in excitement as the water touched his skin. The baby's laughter echoed against the villa walls, of sound that erases every trace of exhaustion from a parent's soul. Hyun stood waist-deep in the pool, guiding the float while Ye-jin crouched by the edge, cheering their son on. Every now and then, Hyun would glance up at her, and their eyes would meet, no words needed. Just a quiet exchange of love and gratitude. The hours seemed to slip by unnoticed. They played, they laughed, they rested. Hyun, ever the attentive husband, made sure Ye-jin stayed shaded when she wasn't in the water, handing her a cold drink without her even asking. At one point, Alkong leaned forward in the float, splashing Hyun's shirt until it clung to him. Instead of scolding, Hyun only laughed, picking the boy up into his arms and letting the water run down both of them. By mid-afternoon, another surprise arrived. A discreet knock at the side gate revealed a private chef rolling in a cart laden with fresh fruit, seafood, and Ye-jin's favorite chilled noodles. Hyun had arranged for a full poolside dinner experience, complete with candles that would be lit once the sun began to set. They ate slowly, savoring each bite. Alkong sat in his baby chair beside them, occasionally babbling and reaching for pieces of melon that Ye-jin would pass to him. The golden hour bathed them in a soft glow, air cooling just enough to make the evening perfect. As the candles flickered and the pool's underwater lights cast shimmering patterns on the walls, Ye-jin found herself leaning into Hyunbin's shoulder, watching Alkong sleep in his stroller nearby. "You always know exactly what we need," she murmured. Hyunbin's arm tightened around her. "Because I listen," he said simply. The night ended with a slow walk around the pool, their hands brushing together, their voices low as they spoke about dreams for the future, family trips, teaching Alkong to swim, even expanding the family someday. But as perfect as the day had been, Hyunbin had one last secret he hadn't revealed yet, and it would make tomorrow even more unforgettable. The following morning, sunlight spilled through the villa's sheer curtains, painting golden streaks across the wooden floor. Sun Ye-jin stirred first, her eyes opening to the soft sound of waves in the distance. Beside her, Hyunbin was already awake, on one elbow, watching her with a quiet smile. "You're up early again," she murmured, still half asleep. "Couldn't sleep," he admitted. "Too much to do today." Ye-jin frowned playfully. "And yesterday for weeks. Are you telling me you have something else planned?" Hyunbin only leaned forward, brushing a kiss against her forehead. "You'll see." Breakfast was simple but filled with small touches of care, a perfectly brewed cup of coffee for her, warm porridge for Alkong, slices of seasonal fruit arranged in the shape of a heart on her plate. It was so Hyunbin, the kind of man who expressed love not only in grand gestures but also in these small, almost invisible acts. Mid-morning, Ye-jin noticed staff moving around the pool area again. Chairs were being rearranged, fresh flowers were delivered, and a delicate white canopy was being set up over the lounge space. The scene was different from yesterday, more festive, almost like a celebration. It wasn't until she spotted the catering crew unloading crates of glassware and trays of food that her curiosity turned into suspicion. "Hyunbin, what are you up to?" she asked, Alkong on her hip as she stepped onto the terrace. Kneeling by the pool, adjusting something in the water, a cluster of floating lanterns that would later glow as twilight approached. Looking up, he gave her a knowing grin. "Just wait a little longer." By noon, the villa's side gate opened again. But this time it wasn't a delivery crew. Instead, a few familiar faces stepped inside, close friends, a couple of family members, even a fellow actor Hyunbin had worked with years ago. Greeted Ye-jin warmly, their expressions carrying that conspiratorial gleam that made it clear they'd known about this for some time. And then she understood. It wasn't just a private moment. This was Hyunbin's way of sharing their joy with the people who mattered most, a celebration of family, love, and everything they had built together. The poolside quickly came alive with chatter and laughter. Alkong, dressed in a tiny sailor-themed outfit, became the star of the gathering, passed from one set of loving arms to another, each guest cooing over his bright eyes and curious little hands. Hyunbin, meanwhile, moved effortlessly between hosting duties and quiet moments with Ye-jin, making sure she never felt overwhelmed. The afternoon wore on. The atmosphere shifted from casual to magical. A live acoustic duo began to play soft melodies, their music drifting across the pool. The water reflected the afternoon sun like liquid silver, and the floating lanterns bobbed gently, waiting for the evening to come. Then came the second surprise. Hyunbin called for everyone's attention, his voice steady but warm. "Yesterday was for my wife and son," he began, glancing at Ye-jin, whose eyes were already glistening. "Today is for all of us, to thank you for being part of our lives, for supporting us, for loving us as we are, and for being here to witness this." With that, he gestured toward the far end of the pool, where staff began unveiling something covered in a large white sheet. As the fabric fell away, gasps filled the air. It was a custom-built family cabana, complete with a private shaded play area for Alkong, outdoor mini kitchen for quick meals, and a small library of waterproof books for lazy afternoons. Every detail reflected their personalities, Ye-jin's love for cozy spaces, Hyunbin's passion for practical elegance, Alkong's boundless curiosity. The reaction was immediate. Ye-jin pressed her hands to her mouth. "Come by emotion. You didn't have to," she started. But he shook his head gently. I wanted to, he said simply. Because this is our life now. And I want every day to be filled with memories we'll never forget. The sun dipped lower. The lanterns lit one by one. Warm glows across the water. Guests mingled, clinking glasses, sharing stories. At one point, Hyun snapped a candid photo of Hyun holding Alkong against his chest, the baby's head resting on his father's shoulder. Ye-jin watched them with a look that was pure love. When the music softened and the night grew cooler, Hyun and Ye-jin sat side by side at the edge of the pool, their feet dangling in the water. The celebration was winding down. Guests beginning to leave with hugs and promises to meet again soon. Ye-jin leaned her head against his shoulder. I don't think I've ever felt this full, not just from the food. Said with a quiet laugh. From everything. Hyun turned his head slightly, kissing the top of her hair. That's the point. I wanted you to feel full, safe, loved. In the stroller beside them, Alkong stirred but didn't wake. His tiny fingers curled into a fist. The pool lights shimmered, the air was still. For a long moment, neither spoke. They didn't need to. In that silence, everything was said.